situation going on right now in San Diego, but I want to get your reaction to what happened with the Iran nuclear deal. Do you think it's a good deal for the U.S., and especially as it relates to Israel?
Well, I think that's the big question. And one of the things we did in Congress was we gave ourselves 60 days to review this before they could require us to take a vote. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I've read the outline of the deal. I'm going to spend some time going over it word for word, develop a list of questions. But here's basically what I'm going to be looking for. One is, does it really prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon? And part of that is, are we really able to get the inspections that we need to know if they're cheating? We have to assume they're going to cheat. They've always cheated. But we can't be...
Saddam Hussein cheated.
We can't be dealing with Iran, you know, because we trust them and, you know, they're England or something like that. They're not. We have to consider them a real adversary, and we have to deal with them that way. So do we have good inspections? What are the provisions for sanctions? So if we do find out they're cheating, what are the provisions to snap those sanctions back? I've heard a lot of controversy about whether that's good. And then finally, what are the alternatives? I mean, is this really better than the alternatives of no deal? And what is the implications of no deal, potentially unwinding the international coalition we've brought to bear so much pressure on Iran? And I voted for every sanctions bill to get these folks to the table. Is this better than the alternatives? And those are the conversations that we're going to be having over the next 60 days, not just in Washington, D.C., but with my constituents, and I'm looking forward to those conversations.
As a proponent of those sanctions against Iran, I mean, is there a way in which you could say no to this? Is there a way that you could find yourself saying, you know what, no, this is not a good deal?
Look, I think we all root for solving these problems peacefully. And I'm just as much of a supporter of diplomacy as I was of getting Iran to the table through really tough sanctions, and they were really tough sanctions. Yeah. But you always have to, that military option remains on the table, and it may be that we're in a position where that's a better avenue. And I would like to think not, but that's what we'll be evaluating. And I think the other thing we have to keep in mind is that we did not do this by ourselves. This is not a unilateral United States effort. This is an effort, worldwide effort. It includes actually China and Russia. And so,
interesting partners.
Well, we have to appreciate that that's a moment that doesn't come along every day, and we really ought to take advantage of it.
Going on today's